When did you start the Weekend Watch and how did it come about?
So it originally wasn't the Weekend Watch. I think I was just still going by my regular Kim Brown name, but it actually started on Facebook about 7, 8 years ago. And I would just talk movies, just random posts. It wasn't any videos, nothing like that. I was just put up posts like, hey, I'm watching this. Y'all should check it out. And everybody's like, oh, okay, let me check that out. And then fast forward to COVID, lost both the jobs I had. So now I'm at home with a lot more time on my hands.
Mm,
And it was like, okay, let me just start talking more about this. So
right.
then it would just be, more posts. So now I'm, instead of just one post, maybe once a week, I'm doing multiple ones throughout the day. I then created a photo album on Facebook for an easier way for people to find, like, anything that I was talking about, any movies I was talking about. Um, then I decided to take it to Instagram. Like, okay, maybe if I, take it over there, I'll get some more people following me. And I still no videos, nothing like that. I would just put up the post. I would rate a movie. I would do like a quick little, paragraph about how I felt about it. And it just wasn't really taking off. It wasn't really doing. I'm like, do people see me? Because I know what I'm capable of.
Right.
I know what I need to do. And a year ago, a little over a year ago, because I've only been on TikTok since October of, what is this, 24? 24 was the year. So what, the 2022, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, October 22 is when I opened up my Facebook account. I mean, my TikTok account.
Wow.
And I happened to be at a cookout at my brother's house. It was for his birthday. And we were all just talking about, just being content creators and where to take your content. And somebody's like, well, create an OnlyFans. And I'm like, absolutely not. They're like, no, you can put your movie stuff on OnlyFans. I'm like, yeah, that I don't really think that'll be a good idea.
Right.
And
Right.
then and then somebody mentioned TikTok. Well, at that time, all I knew of TikTok was dancing videos and workout videos. I'm like, I'm not getting on TikTok. Nobody's gonna watch me on there.
Mm,
And I just took a chance. The very first video I put up, and see, this was different for me because I was going from just posts to videos.
mm.
But I was familiar with being in front of the camera because I've had a podcast before. My husband and I had a podcast.
Mm.
We for what, over like 10 years, we used to do these videos on Facebook called Marriage Moment.
Okay.
So we would just talk about marriage and just all that stuff. So I was familiar with being in front of the camera and I knew what my personality could bring. So now I just needed to incorporate that into the whole movie thing. And the very first video I did was for who was that? Megan, the scary movie. Megan,
Right.
yeah.
Like,
Very first bit. Yes, that was the very first video I put up, and it was a trailer reaction. So I wasn't really saying much because
okay.
I was kind of nervous. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And it kind of took off. And I was like, oh, I done went from 3 followers to a couple hundred and people are responding. And I said, oh, maybe this could be something.
Right. Right. Wow, man, that's crazy. And it's amazing how fast you can build a following on TikTok.
Yeah,
And you just don't really know what video is the one that's going to hit for you, but once it hits,
exactly.
it's like everything just takes off. Um,
Yeah.
and that brings me to my next point. You've now amassed over 267,000 followers on TikTok.
Hmm.
And you are now approaching 15,000 on Instagram. Um,
Hmm.
I have to ask, why not YouTube?
That's the next step. You know what? YouTube scares me. I don't know why, but YouTube makes me nervous. I think because I feel like with YouTube, I'm going to have to do a little extra, like I don't know why in my mind I feel like I have to do a little extra because like I'll watch people and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have an intro. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm probably making it way harder than it needs to be.
You are, and I will say, I used to do reaction videos myself, but that was when I was into music. I was doing reaction videos for music videos. Uh,
Hmm.
and it took off for me as well. I ended up amassing about 6,000 or so followers before COVID hit, and then I kind of slowed down on the process and then gave it up altogether. But if I had
Hmm.
kept going, I definitely would have picked up. I did have an intro, but I will say that today you really don't have to have an intro. A lot of the people that
Okay.
we watch, they have intros, but they've been doing this since before COVID. I
Hmm.
feel like as long as you have engaging content like you do on TikTok, and the fact that you already have that following on TikTok, if you let them know, hey, I now have a YouTube page, or I also do this on Instagram, so on and so forth. Follow me on both of those platforms as well. Then you can start to transition some of those people, and some of those people might be interested in more so long form uh,
Yeah.
content where you're actually going more in depth as to, what you thought about the film, so on and so forth, or when you do some of these unboxings and
Hmm.
things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? But it just made me wonder why you didn't choose YouTube, because I feel like you're leaving a lot of money on the table. You're already doing it, and
I know.
there's a lot of money to be made on YouTube. And
Look, watch come Monday, my YouTube gonna be. I actually have a YouTube. It just doesn't have my content on there.
now,
And
is it the Weekend Watch or is it your name?
yeah, yeah, everything is still the same name, the Weekend Watch. So,
Okay.
okay, this is definitely my sign to go ahead and really open that door, because
Yeah.
I do feel like with YouTube, it will allow me to dive more into like the deepness of the movies that I wish I could get into,
Yes.
that TikTok doesn't allow me to, because the time frame.
Exactly.
And also with Instagram, like with Instagram, the reels are only a minute long, and I can put up my posts, because like my posts for Movie List Mondays are always a little bit longer, because I have the whole list that I
Right.
put out. But I do feel like that with YouTube, I'll be able to really deep dive into, the stuff. Cause I be wanting to have discussions, especially when it comes to these theories that I get everybody into, and we're having discussions and stuff. Because I have a team behind me, and we've been talking about that. Because I've also thought about going to the range of podcasting too, because that's a love of mine.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, you can incorporate the both. You can do the podcasting, but put the videos on YouTube too. So,
At what point did you begin to realize that you are now becoming an authority for film reviews, especially in the Black community?
I think it really hit me when celebrities started following me. And
Yes.
it was like, oh, they see me. So my big thing is, I have other people that do the same thing I do, and they have more followers than me. They have more views than me. But
Hmm.
I don't get caught up in that, because it's not how many see you, it's who sees you.
Right.
And you never know who's watching you. That's one thing that I've learned since getting into this. Just because they don't follow you doesn't mean they're not watching you.
Hmm.
And so when I started seeing celebrities like responding to seeing me, and then I'm like, oh, they're following me, like they're watching my stuff. And now these are the same people that are um they're commenting when I'm putting out Movie List Monday, stuff that has nothing to do with what they were
Right.
involved in.
Right.
So that's when it really hit me, like, and I'm talking about, like, months ago, a year ago, but even recently, because Will Smith reposted my Bad Boys video.
Wow.
um and I was at work, and I work overnight. I was at work, and it was so funny, because when I did that video, I had just washed my hair, and so I had a shower cap on, I had put a hood on, because my thing is, I don't care how I look. Y'all gonna get this content by any means necessary, because
Oh,
I'm
you
not
keep
gonna
it
miss the
real.
opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a hood on my head, and the trailer for Bad Boys had just dropped, and I was like, "Look, y'all, I have to show y'all this, because it's necessary for y'all to see this."
Hmm.
And I'm at work, and it's like I'm on break. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I look at my notifications, and I was the only content creator who he reposted my video. And he responded and laughed, because I said my hair wasn't done. And then he did it again. when I put up another video, he posted it again, but this time he was like, "Thank you, Kim." He didn't call me the weekend watch. And I'm like,
Wow.
okay, this is how I know that I'm really walking through doors that I haven't even physically stepped foot in yet,
Yeah.
because I'm being seen by people that I had no clue that would ever see me doing this.
Mhm. Absolutely, man. That is, it's amazing. And you know, I get the same process as well with doing the Black Script,
Yeah.
and just by showing love and reposting content, and also highlighting people within the industry that otherwise would not get the highlight
Mm-hmm.
that they deserve. And it's just amazing. Like once you are on their radar, it just opens up more
It's
and more.
forever. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's pretty crazy. Now let's transition a little bit into acting. You've recently got into acting, and you've played Nurse Keisha on for What It's Worth on BET
Mm-hmm.
Plus. Can you talk a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about For What It's Worth and who your character is and the role you played in that?
Yes, such an amazing, amazing opportunity to be part of that movie. It's centered around mental health, which is very huge in the Black community. It's what we don't always want to talk about, but it is about the Worth siblings who they're all dealing with their own individual stuff, but one of them has they get sick, and it kind of brings them all together. And I played one of the nurses that were in the hospital with the brother that was in the hospital, and it was just I'm still in awe by the fact that I got that opportunity, and it was all because of doing this,
Yeah.
just I actually I did a review on a show that one of the producers of the movie, he was in the show, and
Oh,
it caused us to just become friends. And from that, like, he called me one day, he said, "Hey, I'm shooting a movie, you want to be in it?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll play an extra." He's like, "No, I'm gonna give you lines." I'm like, "What?"
right.
But then when I found out what the movie was about, and the power behind it, with talking about, mental health, talking about all the stuff they did in the movie with the different siblings, it just made me even more proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a clip on your Instagram when you and your husband were practicing your lines. Um, Talk a little bit about how nerve-wracking that was to get your lines down.
Um, I was very, very scared because I am so amazed, and I know you see this too with what you do. I'm so amazed
Mm,
by these actors and actresses and how they can remember scripts the way they do.
yeah.
Because when you look at the scripts, like, this was my first time actually getting a script. And when I'm looking at it, like, oh my gosh, how
Yeah.
am I supposed to remember not only the lines, but the perfect way to come in cue, and do like, am I going to be loud enough? Is it like, I don't want to have my lines like fed to me or nothing like that. But then it's like, I had to remind myself, like, all these 90s R&B songs, you remember all these songs, you can recite every single one of Beyonce's albums.
Right.
So it's pretty much the same thing. And
Yeah.
it's just studying, just like you would in school. And it's absolutely amazing having a support system. And my husband, because my daughter also helped me with the lines too, that they were willing to take that time to feed the lines. And we were doing that all week long for like 2 weeks until I totally got it down.
Yeah.
But yes, I was very nervous because I was like, oh, I'm gonna be that person on set, and they gonna have the cue cards, and I did not want to be that.
Yeah. Who was the producer or the director of the show that invited you on, had you on?
Lem Collins. Lem Collins is the one that he was in. Oh my gosh, I gotta remember. I have so many TV shows and stuff.
I know you're thinking about a million and one shows and a million and one
I
movies.
know, right?
Yeah. Shout out
I'll
to shout
I'll
out to
I'll
Lynn
send
Collins
you
though.
the information. But yeah, he was in a show, and then he reached out to me from there. But yeah, Lem Collins. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Shout out to Lynn Collins, man, for making it happen. Um,
yeah.
Now you do movie list Mondays as well.
Hmm.
Well, you do movie list Mondays as well as Friday watch list.
Yeah.
What films or TV series should we be watching right now?
Oh, right now. So the movie list Monday is basically giving you a weekly list. The reason I started that is because I saw so many people asking, like, what can I watch?
Yeah.
Or you'll see it on, social media. Hey, can somebody, recommend something for Netflix? I wanted to take, and that's kind of how I got into this whole thing. I wanted to take the stress away from people. I
Right.
wanted people to be able to just go to one place, and this is where they can find everything. Um, so that's what Movie List Monday is. So with Movie List Monday, every week it's something new. So like this week, for example, I'm watching the animated Good Times, which is getting a lot of you
Yes.
know.
No, I
But
know. I'm actually
I'm
supposed to talk to Renata tomorrow, so
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, her and I have discussed it.
yeah.
Um, but like I tell people, I watch everything. I give everything a chance.
Mm.
I don't just because it has this title or I've seen this preview, I give everything a chance and I'm in the middle of watching that. Um, Gosh, I watch so much stuff. It amazes me sometimes how I'm even able to do it.
Yeah,
But I would definitely say that check that one out.
right.
What else am I just started watching kind of this scary movie called The Stranger on Hulu. So that's what I'm watching right now. And I think it came out last year, but it just got put on a Hulu and it's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. I'm always looking for new shows to watch. I like to try to. I'll span through all of the different streaming platforms, and
Hmm.
I'll see what it is that they're pushing in front of me, and I'll say, okay, well, this looks interesting, and this looks interesting. I'll check it out. Um, but now, aside from TV shows and films
Hmm.
that we should be watching right now, are there any TV shows or films that you're anticipating that have not come out yet? I have a couple.
Uh, One that I hope comes back is Black Cake. Did you ever watch Black Cake on Hulu?
Yes, yes.
If we do not get a second season about that, I
Amazing
need to
show.
write to somebody.
Yes, you got to write to Oprah. It's an amazing show.
Yeah.
I actually interviewed Chipo Chung, who
I
plays,
saw, I saw that.
and yeah, she does a phenomenal job. The whole cast does a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that show, and I do hope they do come back with another season of that. Um,
Yeah.
a show that I'm interested in. I watched the first series, and it's horror, and I don't really watch a whole lot of horror, but
Hmm.
them on Amazon, I'm interested
Okay.
in seeing
Yes.
this new season, um,
Yes.
because I was interested in the first season. It did kind of remind me a little bit of like Us and Get Out,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
I liked where they went with it in the story they told. So I'm interested to see this new version.
I have watched the first season when it first came out a couple years ago. And
Mhm.
then when they announced the second one and I saw Luke James was in it, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, his role is looking very interesting in this. Um, I said, okay, let me go back. I need to rewatch the first season again. I actually just did that about a week ago. I forgot how deep it was,
It's
you
very,
know?
yeah, very
It
deep.
was very deep
Yeah.
and it was very at times it was hard to watch, to be totally honest.
Mhm.
It was hard to watch, but it was so beautifully done. Everybody in it was just amazing. So to go from that time frame that they did in that one, and now we're going into 90s LA in
Right.
this new one, and it's a whole different, even though we got some of the same characters, they're touching on a whole different type of storyline.
Yeah.
I think this one is going to be just as heavy.
A
I
lot of touchy
really, you talking
subject.
about 90s LA?
Yeah,
This
we're
is
talking
going to
about
be heavy
Rodney King.
too.
This is Rodney King.
Yes.
Yeah. And so
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they're probably going to touch on that in some way, shape, or form. But they're going to put
Hmm.
their own spin on it, and it's something that's going to be eye-opening. Hopefully, and that's what really is the horror about it. It's not really
Yeah.
horror, but it's our horror, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I find shows like that are deep and get your mind going.
Hmm.
Those are the shows that are interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I'm also looking forward to Bad Boys as well. Shout out to Will Smith if you're watching.
I can't wait for that. I
Yeah,
love when they they continue on stories like this and we have the original cast.
Yeah.
It's so nostalgic. And that was one of my videos the other day because I think it's been 29 years since the first one. And
That's
it's like,
yeah.
it doesn't feel like it's
No,
been that long.
no.
And so to watch and when that happened, when they were talking about that, because it was like Bad Boys Day, when they were talking about that, I rewatched the first one again, and it was like, oh man, the fact that all these years later they're still making these movies and they look even better than before.
They
Like,
do. They do. And it just gets more and more polished. And it's great to see that both Will Smith and Martin Lawrence still look the same. They haven't aged a bit.
mm-hmm.
Their chemistry is still solid. I find myself laughing all of the time. The action is always
Yeah,
upped
always.
every single version. I know we have new directors. I think they directed the last Bad Boys and they're directing this one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm always interested to see films like this, and we don't get too many black action flicks.
We don't, and I would love to see us dive more into that.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a new movie that just came out on Tubi that Footage Films did called Snatch. That's an action film.
Yes, I haven't had
Yeah.
a chance to watch it yet, but I seen the trailer and I seen a couple
Hmm.
clips where the original Aunt Viv.
She's
shout out,
in there getting down. Yeah.
shout out to her, man. She looks vicious in that. Vicious.
Yeah.
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 I have to check that one out, man, for sure. Now, name a show when there's absolutely nothing on TV is still a go-to for you, and you can watch it over and over again.
Oh, if it's not a true crime show, because I'm a big true crime person and I could just watch that all day and all night, um, it would have to be Insecure.
Oh,
Like
it's
it
yeah,
that I mean, how much more perfect can you get when it comes to a show?
yeah,
Like the topics they touched on, the friendships, like the friendships between these beautiful black women that were so different but so much the same. It had me look at my own friendships.
mm,
The everything that Issa went through in relationships. It definitely took me down memory lane and when I was dating. So it's just a feel good show that I still laugh, I still cry.
oh yeah,
It just, to me, that has aged and will continue to age so well.
yeah. It's a classic for sure. I don't think we're gonna let go of that for in the foreseeable future. It solidified Issa Rae.
Mm-hmm.
It showed the genius of Issa Rae.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a huge fan of hers as well. And I'm always interested in seeing what she's going to do next, whether it be in TV and film or even outside of that, because
Mm-hmm.
she's always taking it to the next level. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, she's definitely somebody that's exciting to watch. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you, what do you think is your overall goal with the weekend watch? Like, where do you see it going?
Um, I just want to be a household name for everybody when it comes to TV and film. And not just the black community, but I'm saying like everybody.
Right.
I've had people ask me, well, like, why don't you and I've even had people get upset because I don't have just black movies or black TV shows. Now, of course, I do highlight them more,
Yeah.
but I have never wanted to box myself in
Mhm.
because the actors and actresses that I love and follow are not boxing themselves in.
Right. Absolutely.
Issa Rae was in a movie where she was in an interracial,
Yeah.
relationship. So it's like, why should I box myself in if they're not? So I feel like I just want the Weekend Watch to be a household name for your go-to for TVs and movies. I can be your TV guide. I
Mhm.
want to be that person that's you know, telling you about the shows that you didn't know about or the actors and actresses that you didn't know about. I want to be a household name for them too. I want
Yeah.
my name to come up at tables when they're discussing these new movies and creating these new movies. Oh, we need Kim, we need the Weekend Watch to cover this or cover that. Um, Ideally, I would love to have like a show that I could just, this is what I could do all day. You know, I want to quit my job and just do this all day long. This is truly a love and a passion for me.
Amen on that, for real. I'm right there with you. If I could do this full time, I would. I was going to ask what's next and what's next pertaining to the Weekend Watch. Is there anything next as it pertains to Kim Brown Collado?
Well, now that you've convicted me, I'm definitely gonna work on the YouTube.
Okay, good.
But I like I said, talking with my team that's been in talks anyway, and I think I'm really going to incorporate the podcasting and the YouTube together because I want to have a place where people can see me still, but they can be like I am at work. They can listen to me as they're, you know, driving or working and all that stuff and hear me talk about these movies where I have people guest on because you know you're gonna have to come on so we can talk
Oh,
about some of these
I'm there.
shows.
I'm there. And the fact that we live close, I would love to do it in person if we could. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I didn't even realize that we live close to each other. So we are definitely gonna have to link up and do something that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just want to just be out there and get more people to you know just learn about me. I have and I'll tell you I haven't told anybody like on TikTok or anything yet. Um, one of my like bucket list items that because I'm big on manifestation, like I write down stuff, I you know put it up. I've always wanted to go to the American Black Film Festival. Have you been?
I'm going. I'm going this June.
Kevin, I'm going too.
Yes. Oh, yes. We
They
gotta click up.
invited me. They
Oh, wow.
invited me, and I
Wow.
am so excited. I
So,
cannot wait.
so,
I'm part
so,
of their
so I'm
social
sorry.
critics
I didn't
team.
mean to cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you
Uh-huh.
off. But it's great that they invited you. I had to pay my way. So I'm a little jealous on that aspect, but it's all good. My time will come.
But you in there. We gonna be in
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was funny because I remember writing it down and this may have been a year or two ago that I'm gonna be invited to the American Black Film Festival. And
Yes.
never in a million years that I think doing what I love would get me. That's why I said being seen. You know,
Yes.
you're seen by people. And they told me, they said, you're on our radar. Stay tuned. And I
Mm.
got the invite this week and I'm still just in awe. I'm like, wow, like this is really happening. So I cannot wait. Because have you been before? This is
No.
your first time?
Yes. And
Yeah.
I'm dying to go. I wanted to go last year. It wasn't in the cards for me. Uh,
Hmm.
and so this year I was like, go ahead and you bite the bullet, make that large purchase, and
Right.
do that investment. And I went ahead and dove in because that's how much I believe in doing the Black Script and what
Yeah.
this platform is growing into. And so I wanted to go and be able to present myself as the Black Script and also present what it is that we're trying to do as a platform. So I'm, I too am also manifesting things and have a whole
Hmm.
a whole list of goals in mind for the Black Script, for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so with that being said, I like to give all of my guests the final word, which whether that be a piece of advice that you've been given, words of encouragement, or a quote that you like to live by. You can say all three, or you can give one. It's up to you.
Um, as far as like just if if you want it, go after it. Like I am proof, you are proof
Yeah.
that if you put in the work, if you believe in yourself, if you believe in God and I believe in all that, um what you put your mind to, you can truly manifest and make happen. And don't get caught up on numbers and followers and the your friends or family supporting you. Just work, do
Mm.
the work, truly do the work, and it will all pay off. And when it comes to like the Weekend Watch, you should follow me because I give good shit. So
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody who's watching this, please make sure you follow the Weekend Watch on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. You know, make Kim go over 1,000 subscribers so she can start monetizing her channel. Start making.
And y'all too, because when I post this on my page, y'all need to go follow Black Script. Do that too.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, Kim, thank you so much. I truly appreciate your time, and that's it. Kim Brown Collado, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, thank you.